What's going on, world? So, for the first time in a long time, I actually just sat down and watched TV. But not like TV, it's like the Amazon Prime stuff, pretty much like the Netflix, so I just watch a show. But I don't know, I started just thinking about something randomly, so I paused the show and started talking to myself, and I was like, well, let's turn on the phone and record it. But my thought was something I've touched on before, but is God will give you anything you want, and God will always give you exactly what you ask for, if not more. So I'm in the belief that God will always give you more than what you think you want. God is infinite. God is the source of abundance. So like if he gives you something, it's going to probably be more than what you asked for. Put it like this, right? If you're poor and you're with your poor group of friends and you're trying to pitch in a couple dollars, hey, yo, I need some money, bro. You know, you're going to at max get like $5, $1 to $5, right? Just go with the example. You'll put together $5 and you go get something, right? Middle class, $20, maybe even $100. But then if you in the upper rich class and you say, hey man, I need to borrow some money, your minimum is going to be like $10,000. 10,000, 20,000, $30,000. That's for rich people, super rich people. But imagine being a very poor person talking to like an ever giving rich person and be like, hey, I need some money. He'd be like, 10,000 work for you? You'd be like, no, that's way too much. You hear this on TV all the time too. They'd be like, oh my God, you can't. That's just way too much. You can't. I can't take that from you. Why not? Why not? And of course, it would come from a nice person, not like someone that's going to use it against you. But that's just something I was thinking about. I referenced it before that, I was raised an only child. So I didn't have that big brother to compete with. I didn't have that little brother to push on their head and be like, ha ha, I'm better than you. Like I didn't have that. So my competition was the coolest person I knew, who was my dad. So when I first started learning about manifestation, a lot of people, they want to learn like how to get money, how to get this and that. Cool. One of my first manifestations, besides, well, I guess it was leading into that, but before my first manifestation, I have that video way, way back in the archives at this point, is I wanted to become a regular somewhere. When I was a kid walking around with my dad, like I couldn't go anywhere without us bumping into someone that knew him. Hey, blah blah blah. I'm like, how does everyone know you? Like it was one of those like things because like I was childishly jealous of him because like I was like, you're so cool, like. But like I feel like a loser. Like I was a nerd my entire. I still am a nerd, but I'm a cool nerd now. But it's like I was like such a nerd that I was like, yo, how does everyone know you? Why are you so cool everywhere? Like why am I always in your shadow? That was like something I talked to him about like when I went back home, and like it was shocking to him because it's just natural for him, and that kind of goes into the whole manifestation, be whatever it is that you want mindset. He doesn't know anything about manifestation. He's just a cool dude, so he walks around with that energy, and people respect him for it. But one of my earliest manifestations was, and it was actually my first conscious manifestation, but I wasn't aware of. I was getting the answer over and over. I was getting my manifestation, but I wasn't able to claim it yet because I didn't feel confident in myself to be like I was deserving of being cool, being a regular somewhere, being known at a place. You know, like for example, it was to be known and be regular somewhere. So like I talked about with my guacamole story, this was actually the first manifestation where I wanted to be known somewhere, and it actually happened because I was going into the gas station. And I went there on pretty much a daily basis. The ladies behind the counter always flirted with me and stuff like, but I was still like I was wrapped up on exes and stuff that I couldn't take in this energy. I wasn't accepting of this energy. So how could you notice what's going on with you if you don't accept that energy? It's kind of like you trying to give your friend a hint and they don't get it, they don't match that energy. That's how all of this works. So like I would just go in, hey, how you doing? Blah blah blah. They'd be smiling, giggling, but okay, can I just get my food? But this project lasted like a solid year or two. So like pretty much on the almost daily basis until I started like getting control of my diet and starting to stray away from fast food. I was there pretty much every day that I was on site just to do something, And every day I went in there and I would start to walk in and they would start making my food for me before I even asked. And I was like, oh, so y'all just know exactly what I want. So you want the same thing every day? I was like, true. you know, but that's just a sign, right? But then as I've been going on throughout life, gaining self-love, self-confidence, exuding divinity and starting to teach it and doing what I love to do, just talk to people about spiritual stuff, you know, it was like I started to realize that I became a regular in many places, simple places like the grocery store. I would go there and like this people will recognize me because I'm in and out because I've been, especially recently, I need to make a video about my diet. But recently it's like I've been buying less food because if I buy less food, I snack less. If you don't buy it, you can't eat it, And like I will go in there, like some of the cashiers, they know me. They're like, "Oh, you're back again? Weren't you just here yesterday?" Like people like start to understand that I'm here often. They start to recognize me. I've been in some spiritual groups on my spiritual come up, and not well. Of course, you have to sign up to go to them, but everyone started to know that I was just full of some type of knowledge that people love to listen to. In those groups, like I kind of strayed away from them because like I found myself around a bunch of newbies, and it was like, okay, cool, I'm here to learn, not really teach right now. Well, at that point in time, anyway, like I was like, none of y'all are teaching me anything. Like I felt like, and no disrespect to anybody, but I felt like I was just operating at a different, higher level than the people that I was around. So I'm just like, y'all are good at what you know, but it's like y'all just seem like y'all not giving me what I need right now. But I would always talk last at those groups. They would go around, it's almost like an Alcoholics Anonymous, but just a spiritual anonymous, I guess. And you would just tell your stories, and I would go last every time. I would just sit there quietly after a certain point. And then like the lady that started to run it, she'd be like, "So Prince, drop some knowledge on us." And I would just take a breath and just start going. And I would feel like I was taking up so much time, but when I started to look at the room and read the room, I would see people like, leaning forward and hearing what I was talking about. I was like, I'm on to something. But I also primed them in the beginning and say, hey, I disappear often. Like, this is what I do. I go, I make my face known somewhere and then I disappear. It's just, there's always a point where you need to make time for yourself. But all these stories are pretty much just me explaining that God will give you what you want, if not more, or he'll keep giving it to you over and over until you accept it. So probably a mix and a match of each of them. I asked to just be known somewhere. In my mind, I wanted to be known at, whatever, the grocery store. I wanted to be known at one place in my little limited human way of thinking. Especially back then, I was just a sad sack. But it's like I just wanted to be known somewhere. I don't care if it's the library or just this one place. But I started to be known here, there, and over yonder. And it was just like, wait a minute. I'm starting to make my foothold here. And say, okay, where else can I become a regular? And it's like the doors are always open for you if you're accepting of the energy. So that's something you need to understand. It's like, do you want to keep, do you want to keep limiting the flow of all of your manifestation into your life, or you just want to be open to it and be like, wow, I didn't even think that would happen if I asked for that, but hey, it worked out. If it comes from a place of good and you get more than what you want, it's good. I live under the principle that God will never give you anything that you can't handle. I've seen it in movies, and like I've only seen this one in movies because I don't deal with money with my friends. You're my friend. We don't deal with money. But we were as the saying like, oh, I can't. That's way too much. Oh, I can't take that. Now, of course, if it's coming from someone that's going to use that against you, of course, use your common sense. Don't take that money. But I'm saying this is like a genuine person that says, like, you go up to them, hey, I need like $100, and they say, hey, you know what? Here's 1,000. Just take it. I'm gonna take it. Like, I'm like, all right, wow, thanks. Boom. And now I have a cushion, and I have whatever the money I needed. Like I can now settle that debt or whatever. A lot of people block their blessings because they literally block their blessings. You say you want money, but then you get $10 billion. Whoa, I don't even know what to do with this. I can't handle this. And you start to go down that rabbit hole of you can't deal with this. You can't handle this. So then what does the universe do? It hears your doubt and it gives you more situations of doubt. That's how this works. You're the one that messes it up. You see what I'm saying? I can't handle this money. So then you're going to have family coming at you, friends. You're going to have cousins that you ain't never talked to in your entire life hitting you up. You know, you're going to have to deal with all this money problems, taxes. Oh, you didn't pay this much taxes. You didn't pay the right amount. Blah, 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 blah. And that $10 billion, it disappeared just as quickly as it came in because of you, because of your energy. You understand? I opened myself up to the flow of life, to the flow of abundance, to the flow of manifestation. And not a day goes by, I could sit in my room and figure out how I just gained a manifestation that I've been working at. I bet, wow, wait a minute. I do have that thing already. Whoa, I already have these things. And you can take your attentions away from it to something else. Keep creating. You know, I forgot where, I can't remember if it was biblical or something that I read somewhere, but it's just pretty much to stay in a constant state of prayer. People don't know how to pray. I've talked about this before. Please, God, please make sure, can you please give me the money that I need? Sure, sometimes your prayers like that get answered, sure. But to be in a constant state of prayer is to pray believing you have already received. So every time you want something, hey, thank you, God, for the new car. Thank you, God, for the new outfit. Thank you, God, for a good day at work. And if you go in believing that you already got it, that's how you accept it. That's how you match its frequency so it can get into your human radio, your human antenna. That's what this is. You understand? So I open myself up to whatever comes my way. I ask for something, I believe it, and I go about my day. You know, it's that simple. You know, this thing behind me that's the newest addition, my little workout thing. Got the little pull-up bar, the dips, all that type of stuff. But in my house, I want a gym. Like in my dream house, dream apartment, whatever, like condo, not an apartment, my dream condo. It's like I want a gym in there. So if anything like pops off, I have everything I need in my place. You see how these things manifest. But this is just the beginning. You see what I'm saying? This is how my life operates. It's like, because I was, you know what, quick side note, quick side story. I cleared the space for it. You know, like I measured it out to make sure it would fit before I assembled it. And when I moved my couch over, I had all this extra space. The first thing that came to my mind is one day I'm going to be moving out of this apartment. That was the first thing I thought about when I saw that space. And I literally stopped in the middle of my floor and I was just looking around. I was like, that open space just made me see this entire room empty, this entire apartment empty. Because one day, I'm not going to be living here. I'm going to be living in my dream house, apartment, condo, whatever life throws at me. You know, like I'm just going to be like, yeah. And that was my first thought. See, now I'm at the point now that I can see the progress of things. I can see the manifestations. I don't try to control them. I'm just the observer. But I see what's starting to go on here. So that's just what I want y'all to understand. Everything you want is either being smacked up across your face and you're just not ready to accept it yet, or the pieces are forming all around you and you can just start to watch them. God will always give you more. You know, God is the rich man and you are the poor man. You ask for $1, he'll give you 10,000. You know, you ask for love, you're like, you have options all of a sudden. You understand? You know, I want better health. All of a sudden, you'll have like 50,000 videos that are saying, this is how to get healthy. This is how to get healthy. This is how this works. You know, he's infinite. So he, like a drop for him is like a tsunami for us. You know, drip, we can't handle it, you know, until you like match that frequency. So I hope that made sense. I hope that just livened you up a little bit. Stop blocking your own blessings, you know. God will give you everything. Source will give you everything. The universe will give you everything, whatever you want to call it. You know, that your higher self, if you don't believe in anything else but you, cool. You'll get everything. Believe in that, and life will open up to you. To the next one.